I finally listened to Nas and DJ Premier today, this morning while I was getting ready before stream and before the rest of my day. And, it was a good way to start the day. I was very impressed with the album. The last few days here since it has dropped, I've been seeing a lot of people online complaining about it. I think that it's just kind of the cool thing to complain, to seem like you're too cool to like a thing is easier than to like a thing in the public sphere at this point, and especially for a lot of different like commentator type people. I think everybody was just trying to get their dunk in and have the hot take that sparked up conversation, and some of that worked. And ultimately, it's a good thing if people are talking about the album one way or the other, and by saying, "Oh, it wasn't really my thing," you then get a million people jumping into your comments being like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. That was a great album. I don't know what you want or whatever, right? Like, and it's a good kind of hot take to have because it will piss people off to the point where they need to jump in the comments and say that. But ultimately, they know that it is just an opinion, that music is subjective, and that one person's cup of tea is not the other's. To each their own type thinking is kind of how I always approach art. So if somebody didn't like it, I don't hate them. I don't think it invalidates their opinion going forward or their platform or anything like that. Um, I, on the other hand, did like it. I think people that don't like it should go listen to the really polished up mainstream stuff. Go pop on the newest Drake album and ride away on a soundscape of layered harmonies and fucking various tricks and earworm melodies. If that's what you need in your music, I'm not here to say that that's any worse than what I like. I just like something different than that. And what I like is boom bap. For me, it's about lyricism. Nas definitely delivered on the lyricism. I mean, the guy is one of the greatest lyricists who has ever walked the earth. I will firmly defend that opinion. I've said it before in a lot of interviews when I talk to people that he's one of my favorites, and that I would rather hear everything he ever writes and everything he's ever recorded. Put it out to the world. Fuck it. I'm not gonna ever at this point decide like, oh, Nas is whack because I hear him say a bar here or there that makes me think like, well, that could have been a little different, or that's a weird opinion, Nas. But like, at this point in his career, he has put together so much good dense lyricism that I'm here for it. I want to hear more of it. I want to be able to witness the growth and progression throughout his career. I want to be able to witness the changing of opinions and all of it. I definitely want to hear it. I'm glad that Nas and Premier finally delivered us the album, and I think that all the people out there being critical of it are the reason why we don't get a lot of albums where legendary artists like Nas and Premier actually pursue their passion. And I think it was a lot less sad. My friend Jimmy Burnett said this. He said it's a lot less sad that they came out and made an album that like some of the modern audience doesn't like than it would be if they would have come out making an album that was appealing to the modern audience, um, and it fell short of that. That's the really gross part when your favorite artist drops the album that has, suddenly the Wu-Tang has an auto-tuned hook singing about being rock stars. And it's like, what the fuck is really happening here? We don't need this. Nobody, I don't think, wanted you to evolve to this. And it doesn't sound like the artist themselves even wants to evolve to that. They're just kind of trying to do the thing that makes the people happy. And I'm glad that Nas and Premier didn't do that. We don't fucking need that. We should just see that hip hop can separate into different lanes. And if the people that like the polished mainstream stuff want to be in that lane, have fun. That's a lane to be in. That's great. Go support the billionaires and the millionaires. And I'll support these guys over here who are doing the art the way that they want to do it. And don't give a fuck if you like it or not, because they don't give a fuck whether you like it or not. And at this point, they've got enough money to be in that position. So power to guys like Nas and Primo who are really just making art that they want to make. And if all the critics don't like it, that's kind of beside the point because their legacy is cemented.